So we aren't even 2 weeks into 2026, and here we already have the worst take of the year. Kuro copied Honkai Star Rail, but trust me, nobody has eyes on Star Rail right now, especially because of the fact that this game is just funding Hoyo's best new upcoming product, Petite Planet.
What? What? Who the fuck is...
So before you say it, yes, I know that Twitter is one of the worst places on earth and nothing said on this platform should be taken seriously whatsoever. But come on, y'all, we can't be just making shit up because HSR has no content. Apparently people genuinely believe that Aemeath is just a copy of Siren. And here comes my first problem with people trying to attack Wuthering Waves. It seems like it's always some random, unnecessary BS. Now, I don't want to make it seem like I'm defending Wuthering Waves here, trying to white knight, but I just find it funny that the things that people like to point out are either irrelevant or just straight up wrong. Here's the thing, if you want to talk shit about Wuthering Waves, there are so many other things that you can point out that have some sort of relevancy, like the fact that the end game is actually pretty trash right now. And honestly, this is a problem with most gacha games, especially as they age. And as we know, WUA is starting to get older and really starting to show its age in some areas and definitely becoming less free-to-play friendly in some aspects. So I think it's goofy to sit here and act like Kuro just copied some random design from HSR, and some people can't just appreciate the fact that this is what a gacha game looks like in 2026.
The world is mine to guard. Objective. Truth, reach the cosmos. Blade cleaves the night. Herald, burst in light. Body limit unlocked. The savior rising.
So the problem with saying that this character looks like another just because of the hair color is that you can take any two characters of the same hair color and then just say they look alike. And I think that the comparison here is mostly because these are two very popular characters from each of these games, and not many characters tend to have pink hair. And if you really want to get technical, these aren't even really the same shade of pink. In fact, I like Aemeath's two-tone hairstyle more than Siren's. It has a better connection, I guess you could say, to it. It flows better because Wuthering Waves does these two-tone hairstyles very well. For example, from the show Naruto, I could take Naruto and then Goku in his Super Saiyan form from Dragon Ball, and then I could just say, oh well, they look alike because their hair color is the same. And yeah, Naruto is trash because he kind of looks like Goku when he's Super Saiyan. Now that physically hurt me to say, but you could see where I could get that point from. Trying to make something out of nothing because Star Rail has no content is just ridiculous. And then the other thing is that it's really hard to get creative with these anime girl models because they all have that same body and face shape. They have to be slim, thick, with long flowing hair most of the time, and then those huge ass eyeballs. There is so many gacha and anime characters at this point that it's gonna get to a point where, yeah, a lot of these characters are going to have similarities, but I doubt an established company like Kuro is just going to straight up copy another company just because they're that lazy. Maybe if the ZZZ dev team got hired over at Kuro, then we could start worrying a little bit. Oh, did you really think I was gonna go a whole video without a ZZZ Stray? The game with arguably the worst power creep in the Hoyo franchise at this point? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I really couldn't. I tried not to, but it's been on my mind this whole time. I had to say it. I'm sorry, I had to say it. Another thing that's been brought up in discussions like these is the fact that Hoyo makes more money than Kuro, so they're somehow jealous and they need to copy them. If it sounds stupid when I'm saying it, trust me, I feel even more stupid for having to explain why Hoyo making more money does not matter whatsoever. Hoyo games are extremely predatory. This isn't like breaking news or anything, but that's probably most of the reason that they still make so much money and it's not necessarily because of the game's quality. On top of that, you have sunk cost fallacy. I know that's like a buzzword or a buzz phrase that people don't like to hear at this point, but it's a fact that when people have that time and monetary investment into something for a certain period of time, they give a certain amount of time or they spend a certain amount of money, they get addicted to what they invest all of that time and money into. And for example, here, like Genshin Impact, the game's been out for what, 5 years at this point. So this is a real thing. People have an actual like addiction to this game, Genshin Impact, for example, because 5 years is a long time to spend on one game. And then imagine how much money you're spending on this game year after year after year. It's the same thing with Star Rail. It just hasn't been out as long yet, but just wait until we get to the point where we're 5-6 years into the Honkai Star Rail life cycle and people have spent thousands of dollars onto the game. So when you say something like, oh, well, Star Rail made $50 million this month. Yeah, that's because they just had a $300 spending event. Anyways, I don't know if you've seen this tweet yet, but I think that maybe it's a troll, so I could be looking too deep into it. But I've recently noticed that a lot of people are trying really hard to out Kuro as being lazy or incompetent for some reason. So for example, right here, they're trying to say that they're not only copying Cyrene's design here, but also a part of her animations, which is just weird that you could try to reach this much to prove that Kuro is lazy. Like, I could see if you wanted to say that the devs are lazy, because if you see all these videos talking about Hoyo devs being lazy, then you could just say that Kuro for the longest period of time left Wuthering Waves in a dry patch cycle towards the end of 2.x, where from 2.5 to 2.8 there was basically no content. I don't understand why we have to try to reach so much to kill the hype of this character. And then there was all the AI stuff where people were accusing Kuro of that around the same time that Glaive Kyo was getting accused of using AI in his scripts. And I think it's just hilarious how people have this much time on their hands to think of some BS. I wish that I had that type of dedication in my daily life. I would be a very productive person if I had that dedication that some of these Kuro haters have. So I do respect it. I respect it. I respect the grind. I don't know what it is with this HSR community and Wuthering Waves community being at each other's throats lately. I feel like they've been making comparisons more than the Wuthering Waves community and Genshin Impact did back in the day. And yes, 2024 is back in the day. We're in 2026 now. We're getting old, guys. We're getting old. Like, whatever happened to the Genshin community being so active, I feel like they're much less active than they used to be. Wait, is that it? Is that it? Oh, okay, that's why. But anyways, I feel like people need to talk about things that are actually bad in Wuthering Waves if you just want to talk shit about the game. Because I get that they're tired of people glazing the game or whatever, but if you needed somebody to say it, then yes, Wuthering Waves is not perfect. And please don't just sit there and glaze Wuthering Waves all day if that's what you are doing, because the game does not get better without criticism, and that goes for every gacha game. In fact, these games literally get worse because the devs get comfortable when people expect mediocrity. Anyways, your word of the day today is Iengo, and this guy's hilarious. I actually want to know if anybody has heard him talk in a different tone of voice than this.
Oh, a viewer just sent me a clip now and said, "Shots fired." Let's see who's firing shots at me. I'll mess them up.
Hey, when will you react to latest Yango's Wuwa vid? Because I remember...
It's a St. Totus taking shots at me? What?
How could you not like this guy, even if you don't agree with what he's saying and it's just complete nonsense? It's still fun to watch. And then just look at some of these titles. I Fell Off in a major way. Rice Shower is a crybaby loser. Gotcha Games Are Dead in a major way. Stella Sora is better then Chaos Zero Nightmare. Okay, I don't know what's going on there in that last part, but Iango, I hope you're doing well. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this far if you have, and let's make sure we're still keeping up with those New Year resolutions. You didn't think I would forget? Stay on top of your stuff, at least until the end of January. You look cute today. Peace.